Hi, everyone, and welcome to the second edition of the 10 Toes Down Self Empowerment Symposium, Reloaded Symposium. All right, tonight I have a very interesting topic, and I hope you enjoy it. And hopefully, it'll help give you some insight in your life and what you want to do to make things happen for yourself to improve your finances. All right. I'm no financial expert, but one thing I can tell you, just like you, I have had my credit struggles in the past. And there are ways that I have developed to raise my credit score, you know, by simply disciplining myself. Tonight's topic is, what is your relationship with money? And before going forward, you need to ask yourself that question. What is your relationship with money? Do you idolize money? Do you consistently just spend it carelessly? Are you a conservative with money, meaning a tightwad? Before you can really assess your situation with money, you have to determine, you know, where you want to be and where you are. So, that being said, let's get started. All right. So, a couple of questions that I have for all of you so you can take notes. If you don't have a notebook, grab you a notebook. This and please, make some comments in the chat. If I don't get to you during the broadcast itself, then I'll come back to it. You can give me your email address. We could talk offline, whatever it is. But I just want you to be happy, healthy, and this kind of like our forum to be able to get back to loving ourselves and doing better by ourselves. But the first question I want to ask you is, how much do you actually know about credit? Some people know, oh, my credit score good or my credit score bad, but do you know all of the factors that are taken into consideration when it comes to your credit? You may think simply paying your bills is helping your credit score go up, and that's not true. The next question I want to ask you is, how much do you know about investing? If you think, and the reason why I'm asking this question is I like to look at some quotes from Warren Buffett. And Warren Buffett said a quote, don't quote me exactly, but it was in the field of more or less, you have to basically find a way to make money while you're sleeping. And that resonated with me in the sense that I don't make money when I'm asleep. I only make money when I'm awake. And so it's like, okay, what else can I do? Think about it. When you go to work every day, you are working for someone else. Y'all give me 1 second. My nephew is here at my house and he's looking at my TV. So one moment. Let me see if I can get him to mute the television. Y'all bear with me for just one moment because I can hear him in the background. I do apologize. One moment. I will be right back. Give me one moment. And y'all don't go anywhere, but go ahead and put your questions in the chat if you have any questions. But bear with me for just one moment, okay? I'll be right back. Izzy, I need you to turn that down. All right. Thank you, everybody. Sorry for that. But anyway, if you have any questions or concerns, put them in the chat. But you got to know about investing. Figure out a way that you can make money in your sleep. The reason why I'm saying this, you have a talent. Some of you may be great writers. Some of you may be singers. Some may be dancers. There are other things that you can do besides get up in the morning on a routine basis and go to somebody else's job. Whether you believe in yourself or not, I believe in you. The reason why I say this I want y'all to understand something. I work a regular job and I also have a business. I also volunteer and I also help other people with whatever they got going on too. You can do anything that you put your mind to. You just got to believe in yourself. Stop just existing and start living your life. God didn't give you all of these great talents just for you to wake up and give them to somebody else. So today, I don't care what's going on in your life, today, make the choice to invest in yourself. Before you can invest in any mutual funds, trust funds, or anything else, make the choice to invest in you because you are worth it. And if you don't invest in you, meaning eat right, meaning, take care of your spiritual life, take care of your home life, take care of your body, putting the right things in it. Invest in yourself first and always continuously educate yourself. Educate yourself. I don't care that you didn't go to college or anything else. Like I told my kids, success is not defined by a degree. Success is defined by the goals that you set for yourself each and every day and you achieve it. If you know that you are terrible with money, today make the decision to learn as much as you can about money. Don't worry about yesterday. I know you might have bills that's piled up on the table. However the case is, open up every single bill. Look at just be honest with yourself. Just get naked, not physically naked. Y'all don't do that. But just be honest with yourself. Pull your credit reports. Honestly, give yourself a health credit checkup. Analyze your own finances. Don't wait till you go to apply for something for someone else to tell you your credit is bad. Because for them, believe it or not, bad credit equals dollars, y'all. Somebody has good credit. People don't really make money off of good credit. They make tons, thousands, millions of dollars off of people with bad credit because they have an interest rate that's ridiculous. If a person with good credit may pay for something one time, if you have bad credit, guess what's going to happen? You're going to pay for it maybe 7 times over, depending on the interest rate. And we got to stop that. We've got to stop that. But we'll talk more about that in just a minute. Another thing, do you all have a life insurance policy? If you don't have a life insurance policy, I don't care who you get a life insurance policy with. That is the quickest way for you to obtain generational wealth for your family. Because with a life insurance policy, except keep in mind, any life insurance policy you get, guys, letting y'all know, you cannot commit suicide within the first 2 years or they will not pay out. But with insurance, as long as the death is, validated or however the case may be, your family will be able to have burial expenses for you and an inheritance. But I want you to understand something. If you don't teach your children how to manage, your children or whoever your loved one is that's going to inherit whatever wealth you leave behind for them, if they don't learn how to manage the money that they have now at ground zero, with making $30,000 or $40,000 a year, what do you think they're going to do with $300,000? They're going to have the same bad habits at $300,000 as they had at $40,000 and $50,000. So let's start by educating ourselves and understanding money. That's the only way we're going to get better. You could read books. You don't have to pay people to get the education that's free and available on the internet for you guys. This is near and dear to my heart because I see so many people struggling. Like, the cost of rent is going up. And I'm going to tell y'all now, this economy, I don't know if any of y'all are feeling it. I feel it. And now that my children are adults, I definitely feel it, for the simple fact I do not get those earned income credits and all of that good stuff. They take my entire check. They take it and you pay taxes and they still tell you don't pay enough. So my heart goes out to anyone that has ever had to do this forever. I'm new to this world, to this side of the world, and I don't like it. But what I wanted to tell you guys if you do not have any dependents, it will be a sure fit or a sure thing for you to get yourself an LLC. Okay? So you can have some tax write-offs. Just throwing that out there. That's free game. Okay, just throwing that out there for you. That's free game. I want y'all to make it out here. I want y'all to make it. And keep in mind, again, even if you have a life insurance policy, and you have minor children, you can put in your will how you want things to be. Talk with your life insurance agent. Talk with your banker. Get yourself a living will. There are things that all of us need to do, especially if you're in my age group. I'm in my 40s, 30s, 40s on up. If you have children, any of that, guys, we need to get our affairs in order now. Now we need to get our affairs in order. And I know you might be like, I don't have money to do all of this. Did you have money to go eat that cheeseburger? I'm just asking some questions. Did you have money to go on that girl's trip or that guy's trip? Think about the amount of money that you spent that you knew you didn't have. If you can sacrifice hundreds of dollars to go on a one-time trip, you can take a percentage of your money and put that aside to make sure that you are properly buried and to make sure you leave some type of inheritance with your children. The other thing I wanted to tell you too, when selecting your life insurance, guys, think about your burial costs when you're factoring the amount of life insurance you get. The other thing that I want you guys to remember too, factor in your debt, because your creditors can lay claim on that money too. So your children just won't get that money. Your debt still has to be paid even after you die. Some creditors will forgive it. Other ones are going to come after that money. So your kids just may not get everything that you left for them. So factor that in when getting it. Then look at your age. Then look at the fact, are you getting a whole life policy or are you getting a term policy? If you get a term policy, make sure that term policy is at least for 35 years. The company that I do work for, y'all, that's another one of my side hustles. I am a life insurance agent too, with Primerica. So I do that too. This is not a solicitation call, though, just letting y'all know. But I am a life insurance agent for the state of South Carolina. If you're interested in becoming one, then that's fine. I can tell you what to do, but that's totally up to you. But do I believe in multiple streams of income? Absolutely. I will babysit children if I need to. Anything that's going to help me move towards whatever long-term goal I have. Many people say, oh, I don't have the money to go on vacation. Well, this is the thing. If you take $25 and put it into a savings account and just let it keep going, just forget about that $25 and it keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. Before long, you look in that bank account and you're going to be like, wow. I know, because I checked mine yesterday and I was like, okay. And I am letting y'all know I will be going out of the country in December. So that's why I'm telling you, you can have whatever you choose to have in this life, but you got to be disciplined. And it's not always easy. That might mean you need to sacrifice getting your nails done or getting your lashes or your hair, your wig or something like that. I need y'all to think more than just the moment. Just think past just a moment for just a second. I don't want you to feel like you have to be stuck in whatever situation you've got going on, because you don't. You just got to think better, think smarter. Hang around people that are educated when it comes to financial management. There's so much free education that's out here to teach us about money and investing, and we don't take it. Do you all not realize you have the opportunity, if you have a Bank of America, credit unions, etc. Those financial advisors are in there to help you fix your credit if you need to. I know with Palmetto Citizens, they have a free agency or something like that to help you fix your credit, so on and so forth. Me, I tried a credit place before a long time ago. It was Lexington Law. I don't know if any of y'all have ever heard of them or used them, but they made me never, ever use that again. And because what they did, they disputed good credit and they disputed bad credit. It was a mess. They had locked my entire credit down. Equifax, TransUnion, everything was locked down. Like good credit, bad, everything was being locked down. So, I stopped doing those things. And I use this method. I think they call it the snowball effect. And so what I did is what I just told y'all a few minutes ago is I requested all my credit. I went and requested all three um, credit reports. And y'all, I need to let y'all know there's three major credit bureaus, but there are other credit bureaus that's out there too. I don't know if any of y'all know, but you also have a residential credit history. So if those of you that know that you are out there getting ready to go to another apartment complex or whatever, run your residential credit history. There's so many other different factors that these companies are using now to basically get a full picture of who you are. And you've got to be aware of these things. Let's talk about the next one. Do you all have a living will? I can guarantee most of us can honestly say we don't have a living will. And you all, it doesn't cost that much, but it's so important. It's so very important. My grandmother, she had passed away in April. And, she had a will, an original will, but she didn't file her will in the courthouse. And the thing is, regardless of it, when you get to a certain age, if your will is not filed in the courthouse, another one is created, however the case may be, it's just like the other one didn't exist. And so if you have a will in place, go ahead, for the sake of your children or whomever, go ahead and file it in the courthouse so your will is there. And if you need to make changes to it, update it. You will save your family so much trouble if you just do that. Take one day and just go do it. Make sure it's done. It may not seem like much to you, but it trust and believe me, it is something that is needed and required. I want you all to also remember something. You need to establish power of attorney. You don't just have the one. You have your regular, like your person that's the power of attorney of your estate, but there's also the durable power of attorney, and then you got medical. At the hospital or wherever you're going, set it up. Go talk to your doctor, whoever you see. Do you want to not be resuscitated if you code? When I say code, if someone's, if you flatline and they're trying to bring you back to life, or do you just want them to let you go? These are real questions that we need to answer in our lives. And all of this factors in our relationship with money, because if you are not DNR or do not resuscitate, and your family's trying to keep you alive, at the end of the day, guess what happens? Medical bills build and build and build and build. And in the end, if you pass away, your family is still stuck with those bills. And if you have life insurance or don't have life insurance, somebody is still stuck with those bills. So plan not just for when you're living, but also for your death. Because one thing for certain and two things for sure, we all are going to die. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That is inevitable. And I do apologize for my phone ringing, but it is inevitable that you understand that everyone is going to die. It's something that none of us want to face, but it's something that we all need to face. And we need to plan for it as best as possible. Because you don't have tomorrow, you don't have yesterday. We only have this moment right here. And I appreciate you all for whoever shows up or whoever views this, whoever's coming into the symposium. I appreciate you all taking the time to stop in, because I just have a very, very big passion for wanting to help people. I do. But I can't go broke in the process of trying to help people. So I'm trying to find free avenues to be able to educate the community. And hopefully it's some information that you could take back and you could use in your life. Let's go to our next topic. All right. Now, Why is credit important? If you all like me, my family did not teach me about credit growing up. I had no clue. You know, I know I became a teenager, got 18 years old, and I was able to get a credit card, but nobody successfully told me how to use it. And that caused me to have some financial troubles, but I got those under control. It took some years, but it's a good thing now. Um, but one of the things that I learned, and I like to keep in mind, I like to listen to millionaires, and how they use things and teach their children. And something that I learned, I'll say here in my 40s, is the power of the credit card versus the debit card. And maybe it was Warren Buffett, or it was one of the millionaires. They was given like a millionaires, billionaires. They was given some type of seminar, and one of the things he said was one of the worst things that ever came out was the debit card. And I'm like, why did he say the worst thing that came out is the debit card? Well, the reason why he said the worst thing that came out is the debit card is because you swipe the debit card. They allow you to use it as the credit or debit option, right? But it absolutely does not help your credit. I want y'all to think about that. It does not help your credit at all. But you get to select debit or credit. So I put the theory to work, because what he said was to get you a credit card, and all of your expenses that you normally pay for, anything that you could pay for a credit card with, you do it. So when I get paid, I put whatever percentage, like if I have my light bill, groceries, gas, any bill that I can pay with a credit card, I'll take that money from my bank account and I'll put it on my credit card. And I'll use my credit card to pay for those things. Guys, when I started doing that, do you not know my credit score jumped almost 100 points? I kid you not. I can't lie to y'all. Then here's the other thing that I want y'all to know too. In addition to that, and I'll get back to this thing. In addition to that, your statement date is what shows up as far as your credit history. Like if you run your credit report, if you pay your statement, if you pay your whole entire credit card off, and I got this from a Discover lady, because I called, I was like, can you just tell me how credit works? And I just had a nice conversation. And for those of you that have credit cards, call them. Call the customer service agents and they'll tell you the same thing. You have the due date that you have your due date that you have to have your minimum balance quote paid, right? Then you have your statement date. Pay off your balance by the statement date. That statement date freezes on your account for the next 30 days. And that is what is reported to the credit bureau. After that statement date is done, you can max out that credit card and nobody gonna know the difference until the next statement date. So you will look like you have a zero credit history. And guys, I put it to the test to see. I will tell you, just to be on the safe side, you got to make sure you don't have any pending charges. And you have to make sure, in addition to not having any pending charges, I recommend doing it at least a day or so prior to the statement date. If your statement date is on the 23rd, then you need to have the full balance or the majority of the balance down to like 32%. Have that pay down by if your statement date's on the 23rd, do it by the 22nd. And so it'll post, make sure it's before 5 o'clock, or find out what time from your bank. And then you'll see what I'm talking about. Y'all test out my theory now. Test it out. Because I didn't think it was true either until I did it. And it was the best decision that I ever made, because all this time, all these years, I was thinking, oh, let me just pay off this bill. My credit score is going to shoot up. No, it's when you have good credit, maintain that good credit. And if you got bills that's already charged off, those bills are charged off. They're not going to hurt you. But if you're trying to establish more credit, do this. And I have this thing for a rule that I have for myself, and y'all can use it if you choose. I reward myself. Before I can get another loan, I have to pay off a past debt loan. It's like, okay, you want something else, you got to pay this off. So I set goals for myself. And by me doing things like that, I have almost paid down all of my credit, guys. I'm telling y'all. It is and it's, people like, well, how you doing that? Blah blah. I use a snowball effect. I don't go by the interest rate. I don't care anything about that. Because if you pay it off early, you're gonna beat the interest rate anyway. I look at the lowest balance, and I pay it off. One of them that I have, that's a high balance, I have them take out $25 every paycheck. Every paycheck they take out $25. And when I tell y'all, I don't miss that $25. And when I received a statement that bill is almost paid off, all I can say is hallelujah. Okay. You're not gonna miss $25, people. You use that buying junk food. And if you know that you're struggling for money, stop eating out. Get you a chart, set anything for yourself that's going to help you be successful. If you have a computer, you can set up an Excel spreadsheet. If you set up an Excel spreadsheet, map out your expenses to determine what exactly you spend money on. But seriously, going back to the credit card, guys, if you start using your credit card to pay off your bills, you will see it work in your favor, and they will increase your credit line. And so that way, you don't have to worry about someone stealing money from your bank account. Because if somebody charges your credit card, all you got to do is make a call, and the creditor's going to put that back on your card. So it's even safer when you're doing stuff like online purchases. So that's just a little tip if you're trying to get your credit up. For those of you that's trying to buy a house, keep in mind that they look at your overall credit history. If you plan on buying a house, I know people say get loans and all that other stuff. It's a couple of things, especially let's talk about from a builder standpoint. Or say if you want to purchase a house, or you decide you want to do a business, so on and so forth. Before you purchase any land, determine what you want to do with the land first. Do you want it to be an agricultural property, a forestry, residential, commercial? The reason being, you cannot set up a commercial business on a residential property. Okay? You can't have an agricultural mindset like trying to run a farm and it's not zoned for agriculture. Okay, so those things taking place, and I need you guys to invest your money wisely. It's no sense if you get 40 acres in a mule and it's not, and the land that you purchase is not purpose. Know what you want to do. Just because money is in your pocket does not mean that you spend it. Sit on it. And stop telling everybody your business. Stop telling everybody you got money and this, that, and the other. Nobody is entitled to your money. Learn the power of saying no. Say it with me. No. Come on, y'all. N-O. No. Say it with some emphasis. No. You have got to realize that you have got to take care of yourself. You cannot take care of someone else without taking care of you first. All right? Let's move forward. Now, when we talk about credit, the simple version to say it is basically it's your borrowing power. That's it. Now in America, America is on credit, but all countries are not like that. I know there are certain countries, especially like in Africa and even like the UK, a lot of those places you got to have the cash. You can't just have credit, everywhere you go. So I want y'all to keep that in mind. Don't get in a habit of racking up so much credit debt that you can't get out, but get just enough to help you move forward in your life. That's it. To help you, if you got bad credit history, you got to get some good credit history somewhere. And the other thing, for those of you that have credit unions, I want to let you know that they have and go into your local credit union, sit down with the bank advisor, whoever you choose, and they'll show you. You can take $100, $200, $300 so that you can develop some history with the bank. They will allow you to use your own money to pay them like you have a loan, and then you pay back that amount each month. Go into your bank, they'll tell you how it works, and it helps your credit. And then if you do that for 6 months at a time, you pay on time, now you have established history with the bank, and the bank sees how you pay your bill. That's some free game, okay? That's some free game, y'all. All right. But just think about it. It's your ability to borrow, but we don't want to get stuck on that. Now let's talk about the credit scores. And I want you guys to keep in mind there are two type of credit scores. You have your FICO score and you have your Vantage score. And sometimes people don't realize that those two scores are not the same. Your Vantage score is normally higher than your FICO score. Just throwing that out there. So some of you might be like, well, what is FICO? What does it stand for? Y'all can look it up on your phone, FICO, FICO. But just in case anybody needs to know, FICO stands for the Fair Isaac Corporation. It is the largest and best known of several companies that provide software for calculating a person's credit score. Throwing that out there. And that information came from the Oxford Dictionary. In addition to that, FICO is on the stock exchange. Just letting you, it's on the stock market. If you're trying to find a stock, the ID for it is NYSE. Right now is valued at about $900 a share. They went down about 27 cents. Right now, I would say the market is a little fickle. So I would say just kind of hold off. Get yourself something like a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA, something like that, so your money could just sit back and nobody's going to be able to take your money from you. Okay, just throwing that out there. But the Vantage score itself is a credit score created by the three major credit bureaus. So Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion basically use basically landlords, lenders, financial institutions, so on and so forth, basically use that to evaluate someone's credit worthiness. And that came from Forbes.com, from Forbes Advisor. For credit scores, now to tell y'all just how different credit scores are, I looked on one website, and a good credit score is between 670 and 739. A bad credit score is from 579 or below. A fair credit score is 580 to 669, and excellent would be 740 to 850. But then I went to another website, and according to bankrate.com, a credit score of 670 is considered bad or fair. So again, depending on who your lender and who your lender gets their information from will determine whether or not you get that loan or whether or not you get that extended credit. And at the end of the day, don't take on anything more than you have to. The reason being, you don't want to be stressed out. Stress causes belly fat. Me personally, I don't need no more. Other words that I want you guys to familiarize yourself with, and I want you guys to do your homework. I want you to look up trust funds. Trust fund is your best friend. That is your homework. I want you to learn the ins and outs of trust funds. Go to your banking institution, talk to bank advisors, talk to them about trust funds. Talk about if you have a house, putting your house in a trust. for whomever you want it to be. There are several different types of trust. There are so many things that we need to do at our age, because as we get older, things get much more expensive. And we don't have all day. If you could do it today, do it tomorrow, get it done. I want you all to think about mutual funds. I want you to learn about those. Yeah, y'all got some homework tonight. Then here we go. Annuities. Find out, learn about annuities. These are words that will change your life if you do it right. And it could change the course of your family's life with generational wealth. And some of these things, you can start them as low as $25. So don't say that you can't have. If some of you got children, and if you're pregnant and you're having a baby, and right now you may not feel like you got a lot to offer your kid, you can look into one of these and start out for like $25. And by the time your child turns 18, if you're taking $25 out of your check, by the time your child turns 18 years old, it'll be a lot of money. In fact, you know what? I'm going to see if I can do the math for y'all right quick. Hold on. Let me see if I can find my calculator. I'll pull it out for y'all. One moment. We're going to see. All right. So if we got 52 weeks in a year, right? And we say if we times that by, we'll say 25. We've got 52 weeks in a year. All right, guys. If you do that, that's $1,300. That's $1,300 a year at $25. And you can do this for yourself, for saving money for yourself. Now, we're going to do, now that's $1,300 a year, right? Now we're going to go 1,300 times 18. Now, keep in mind, you haven't had anything but $25 a week. So by the time your child turns 18 years old, you would have a total of $23,400 that you'll be able to have for your kid. You may not be rich, but you love that baby. That child is your legacy. You are your parents' legacy. And I don't want you guys to feel bad about where you are in life and what you're doing. Just know everybody's life can change. You can see someone, they could be a millionaire today and be a beggar tomorrow. That's why I tell people, don't burn bridges, and make sure you be mindful of how you treat people. Someone asked me one time, they say, who is the most important person in the hospital? They said, it's probably the chief, or it's the doctors or the nurses. My response is no. The most important people to me in the hospital are the hospitality team. The hospitality team is the most important personnel in the building. Because if they do not keep that hospital clean, the doctors could not operate, people would get sick, all kinds of things would happen. So that janitor you see, tell that person thank you. That cafeteria worker, to me, all of them are essential workers. You need to say thank you, because they're making sure you come into a clean environment. If you don't know how to appreciate it, go into a less fortunate area. Walk into those schools. Walk into those places of business. And walk into those hospitals that don't have the money to have a staff to keep their areas clean. And you'll have a new appreciation for the hospital person, for the hospitality staff at your local hospital. A lot of us don't realize that a lot of things that we have are a privilege. Even the fact of you being able to make a decision on your money is a privilege. And that's something that I want you guys to remember. As I stated before, most of us weren't taught about credit, but we can make a change starting today. We live in today's time, and if you are able to Google anything on there are so many YouTubers that are giving out free information to teach you how to manage your credit and to be a better person. I don't recommend paying someone for information that is out there. But I want you all to do your homework. Go to your local library, read some books, um, look into like the small, I think it's called the Small Business Bureau. I'll get the name for y'all for the next one. But the fact is, there are so many things that you can do to make better decisions for yourself. And don't covet anybody else's position, because a lot of times people make things look real good from the outside. And that's not really the truth. You may look at someone that has a car that might look like it's beat up and on, I call it called a little putt putt. Or back in the day, we used to call like broke down cars, we'd call them hoopties. But at the end of the day, that hoopty paid for. The average car note these days, even with good credit, is like $350 and up. You imagine paying $350 and up on a regular basis, plus your car insurance, because I don't know if any of you all know, but the insurance rates have gone up for car insurance, whether you got good car history, driving history or not, your insurance rates have gone up. And sometimes some of us don't know because it automatically renews, but call your insurance agency. They'll let you know. Insurance rates are going up. In South Carolina, it has some of the highest insurance rates. But I do recommend every 6 months, if yours renews at 6 months or a year, shop around. Shop around for anything that you do. The other thing is, when it comes to determining whether or not you want to find a new job, you could do something as simple as, let me see. I'm going to pretend like this right here. Y'all see? It's a nice little piece of paper. And what you're going to simply do is write down your basic necessities. Go through, write down rent/mortgage. If you do that, write down your electric, whatever your utilities are, whatever, streaming services that could be in utilities. Write down what your car note may be, your car insurance. Make yourself a recreation category. And with the recreation category, that's when you go out to eat. When you go out to eat with friends, family, whatever, you have to have a budget for that too. And that includes birthday gifts. Like, make yourself a recreation budget. If you know you're a heavy spender, I've learned, if you're going to give somebody something, especially when there's little kids, give it to them by their age. If they 10, give them $10. It'll save you a lot of time. Because these kids today, they want money. They are not looking at gifts. They're looking at money. But looking at recreation expenses, even if you go to the doctor on the regular, so medical expenses, so on and so forth. But y'all, take a look. Okay, you see that list? It's just like a basic list, but you know what you spend, and incorporate your groceries, so on and so forth. But the main thing that I want you guys to see is, hold on, I can't even spell tonight, y'all. Groceries. But we're gonna say, take a look at that. Bottom line, I drew a line. Well, this is wrong and it's unfinished. You want to know why? Because on that line, you need to have a place that says savings. Okay? So that, and the reason why I say that, you want to get to a point where you don't have to borrow from someone else, that you've got enough money that you can borrow money from yourself. And in your savings, determine how much you want to save. Say if you say, I want to be able to save $200 a month. You might not be able to do that off the rip, but you can start off saying, my goal is $200. Excuse me. My goal is $200, but I'm going to start off by simply saving $25. And you can't touch this money. You can't touch this money. And when you're factoring all your bills, now when you're taking all of this in account, I want you to go through and I want you to look at your paycheck. And if the amount of your paycheck causes you to go in the red after you pay your bills, because you incorporated your savings, it's time to get you a new job. Okay? I don't care that you've been at DuPont or whoever else for 20, 30 years. If you calculate all your bills and you go in the negative, that is not a positive outcome, because you're not living, you're just existing, and your family deserves better. You deserve better. You can be, and a lot of people like, my pension, my pension. Let me tell you something. It is not freedom to work on a job for 50 years, only to have 10, maybe 12 years at best that you don't have to work, and you call that retirement, and then you die. Because that's all you're going to have. So you got people that come into the place that you work, and they're making $5, $6, $7, some even making thousands more than what you're doing. But all I say is dust your resume off. Put it out there. Look on YouTube or anything else, and, practice interviewing. Do whatever you need to do. Sell yourself at any age. You are marketable. But God did not mean for none of us to be broke. Whoever told y'all that lied. God don't want his people to be broke. He does not want us to be broke. How in the world we're going to say I'm a child of the king, and God can supply all of my needs according to his riches and his glory, and I'm broke all the time? That's not so, people. God don't want us to be like that. Come on now. If he tell you, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and everything else shall be added unto you. If you got faith, you got to understand, before God can bless you with more, you got to be able to handle what's right there in front of you. If God can't see that you can handle things with little, how is he going to continue to shout to make it rain on you for more when you can't handle what you got? Can't. So you just need to have some honest conversations with ourselves. Understand, find out what your relationship is with money. And here's the other thing. And I hate to hear people say that I'm going to find me a man with money. I got a woman, she going to have to have this, and this. Let me tell your grown butt something. No grown adult is responsible for your grown self unless you and that person are married. And even then, y'all come together as one. But stop trying to come up on somebody else's pocket when you got the full capability to get out here and get this yourself. And if you're Black, Indigenous, or anything else, I need you to understand, even white, I need all of y'all to understand something. Our ancestors came from nothing. They had horses and cows and all of this other stuff that happened and had scraps to eat. We are in a generational time that we have more than any other generation before us, and yet we do not take advantage of it. We don't take advantage of it. You have more people in this time struggling with mental health. They can't handle things. They got anxiety. They medicated, doped up, whatever the case may be, and don't have half the problems that people had before. Really think about it. 50, 60 years ago, America's still young. Still young. My grandmother died 94 years old. And she remember having to drink out of water. She was born, 1929, 1920, somewhere around there. But having to drink out of water, separate water fountain, watching people getting hosed down, dogs being mistreated, less than a woman, having bad things happen to people. Like this happened in America. The fact that people would struggle for a penny and be happy about that penny or that nickel or that dime. And now you got much more than what your ancestors had. And you still ain't got nothing. You don't get up off your sorry behind. Be the difference. Be the change that you want the world to see. Stop making excuses. My mama didn't do, my daddy didn't do. Well, you do. You are at a position of power, but you got to take that throne. You can change the trajectory of your family's direction by simply starting and changing you and your mindset and your thought process. Discipline yourself. Don't spend all your money. Stop spending all your money. Because every time you spend your money, you're giving them your time. And as I stated in the last segment, you generally only have 168 hours in a week. 56 of those hours you're supposed to technically, if you sleep 8 hours, is sleep. So then that's leaving you with 112 hours. And then you're taking away from that because you got to go to work. So technically, if you work in a full-time job, you got 2 to 3 days to figure out how to have peace of mind, raise your family and everything collectively. So the more money you spend, the more time you take away from your family, your friends, from your peace of mind, from your quality time, from your spiritual life, from anything that you want to do with your life. Stop selling yourself short. You are valuable. You are valuable. You may not be perfect, but think about this. You are God's perfect and perfect being. And he loves you just the way you are. And loves you right where you are. I can't stand when people judge someone's life because I'm like, you don't know that person's story. You don't know that person's journey. And all of us have to be processed in some way or another. You know, some of you may be going through a hard time in your life. And I understand those hard times. But I want y'all to think of it like this. Imagine being, y'all know I love to use my little props. Now I want y'all to look at this. Y'all see it's a pen, right? Now, if I go like this with the pen, you can't see nothing, right? I got to do something to manipulate it a little bit. So I pull this off. Oh, what is that? That's a part of the process of getting being able to use the goodness, the ink that's in the pen for the purpose that I need. So it's like, man, what else do I have to do to get this ink out? Well, I got to turn the pen around. So that's another process that I got to go through. Well, at this time, I got to apply a little bit of force, right? A little bit of force. I'm going to do like this. Y'all look, ain't nothing coming out. But if I go like this, add a little bit of pressure to it. Look at it. Whatever was in there is coming out. And that's the same thing. That's kind of how God does us. Sometimes we get comfortable just being that little pen with the top on it. Hello, I'm a person of Christ. Blah, blah, blah. Well, honey, you're purposed. You're purposed for greatness. And you can't, none of that greatness can get out of you if you don't go through some type of process to make you better. So just like I'm talking to you guys now, I encourage you to start your own YouTube channel, your own way of talking. Like when I was younger, they had Bible study. You know, they'll go from one house to the next house, but no matter what, it was some type of fellowship. I don't know everybody that's on here. You know, I'm utilizing Eventbrite to be able to reach other people because I want to bring people together so that we can have a good environment to be able to expand, to learn, to grow. That's a comment. I appreciate if you all comment. You know, if y'all want to send me a private message, email message, whatever the case may be. I did leave my website and address and stuff on the first one. I'll put it on this one too. But no matter what, we all are purpose, guys. We all are purpose. Do not let money control you. Don't let money make the decision of how you spend your quality time with your family. Teach your children how to invest, but you need to first learn it for yourself. Make sure that you have a life insurance policy, no matter who you get. Go whole life, term life. Just get something, people. I don't want to go to another funeral where they serving red hot dogs. I do not ever want to see that again in my life. or people having GoFundMe's left and right because people haven't been responsible enough to at least make sure that burial costs are there. If you don't want to get life insurance, you can go to a funeral home and you can go ahead and pick out your own funeral, pay for your casket and everything, and make payments on your own funeral. So then that way you have everything in place and your family does not have to do any of that. But don't leave that debt on your family. I am urging and asking you all, really, really look into yourself. Find out what your relationship is with your money. Learn what to do with the money that you have so God can open up doors to bless you. Use the talents that you have. If you can sing, you can draw, you can do anything. Use them. Use them. Let me tell you something. I am, and you guys are getting ready to get it. I finally, I can't tell y'all to do something. I'm not doing it myself, but I am a children's author. I just haven't published my books. I have several books that I already have written, in regards to helping children or young adults, so on and so forth. But it was me always telling myself, I don't have enough money to do this. And this year I said, no, faith over fear. Faith over fear. Because I know that whatever I have is something that someone else needs. And I want to remind you of the beauty of you. I want you to understand that no matter where you are, your circumstance can change like this, but you got to believe. You got to believe, and you got to put yourself in that circle of people that's going to uplift you. Like I was telling y'all before, my mother uses the philosophy, the power of 7. And she always say, you hang around 6 people, you're going to be 6 broke people, you're going to be the 7th broke one. You hang around 6 smart people, you're going to be the 7th smart person. You hang around 6 idiots, you're going to be the 7th idiot. So who you are around matters. Be mindful of the company that you keep and who you associate yourself with. Don't always let everybody lay hands on you and kiss you and all this other stuff. Judas kissed Jesus too, and you see what happened. People crucify people every single day, guys. They really do. They really, really do. I just want y'all to make good decisions for yourself. I hope y'all let me know. I hope that things that I've been saying have been insightful for you, that it will help you grow, and that at the end of the day, that you leave here inspired. I believe in you. If you got a vision, a goal, an aspiration, I don't care if you think it's stupid. Just try it. Do it. Do it because you thought of it, it's something good that's in that. It's something that you have is unique to only you. So I want you to be inspired to be all that you can be. I really do, guys. For those of you that don't know, because my time is almost up, I will be back here again next Tuesday at 7 o'clock. I do just letting y'all know, depending on the time of the symposiums, they may change during sometimes because this coming week, I have to go to Dallas, Texas. And then I'll be flying from Dallas, Texas. I'll be going to Montgomery, Alabama because I have to work. Then the week after that, I'll be in Savannah. So I do a lot. But I inspire you guys and y'all inspire me. And, helping people is something I take pleasure in. For those of you that don't know, I do have a podcast. It's on rss.com. And please like and subscribe to my YouTube. I do have my feed from my podcast come on my YouTube channel, and I just released the growth cycle of intimate relationships. I think that's what I'm calling this. And so it's a series. So just letting you guys know, just understand that you can do anything you put your mind to, but have a good relationship with your money by having a good relationship with God. Just saying. And if you want to know some scriptures that'll help you, there's a book that I'm reading right now in the Bible, First Corinthians. I started with the 7th chapter, verse 40. Oh, it's 1 through 40. Just know, First Corinthians applies to your life. Y'all have a good night, and I'll see y'all next week.